Satnam aloha, everyone. And let me know if you can hear me okay. If my voice is clear. I'm just checking out my other computer here. Satnam aloha, everyone. Great. Okay. So please leave your comments in the chat box. Your human design type, your astro information. Great. People are starting to do that. So how is everybody doing after that crazy solar eclipse on Tuesday? It didn't really hit me until Wednesday. It hit me like a ton of astro debris. I slept for 12 hours straight and I was just exhausted and out of it all day long. But I'm feeling better now. Great. Okay. So I've got to keep my eye on the time because the online retreat starts today at 3:30 and there's still time to jump in. And we just had those solar flares. I did a blog article on that too. If you go to the community page, you'll find a link and you can read about what the solar flares are all about. And yeah, they're part of our ascension energy. So this weekend is going to be really, really intense. So we're working a lot with anger, and that's what the inner teen holds, anger or depression, right? Okay. Okay, great. I'm seeing the comments. And then let's start. I got to see myself here. Okay. So I wanted to talk about the transits. I'm going to do a longer video on the next full moon. I think it's October 17th. So I'll let you guys know when that's going to happen. But if you're on my newsletter, you'll always be informed with that. But remember, it's every Friday. It's early this week just because of the online retreat. Okay. So let's look at this this chart here. Okay. So this has been here since let's go to the 4521. That's the I know why this is doing this. The 2145 is the money channel. Right, the money channel. Okay, there we go. The money channel. So this gives you the will to pursue your goals. So you may be feeling that, right? But that only goes to midweek when the 21, right? There's 21.3. So it still has 6 more lines to go. So it's usually a line a day. It's like around six days that the sun, the sun and the earth stay in a gate. Okay, 6 or 7 days. I got to get it's so funny because I'm talking about this 1/8 and I'm in that experience right now of the 1/8. Okay. So this will be, we've got 3 more. Lines to go through, and then this will be deactivated, right? Because that Jupiter is still being the 45.5. So this gives you the willpower to pursue your goals, your material goals. So if you don't have this activated natally, because remember you always want to go to your natal chart. Your natal chart is what you can count on. This is just a transit, right? A transit chart. So if you don't have, let's say you have nothing activated in the throat, you've got an open throat and an open willpower center. Well, excuse me, these two will be defined for you during the transit. You'll have this channel defined for you, but it's a transit, right? So I'm a projector, so it's about it's an efficiency of energy, so you can use this energy to your benefit during the transit. But remember, it's not yours, which means don't make your decisions based on these transits because it's not going to last forever. Like I totally felt this because I have an open willpower center. I felt it when this got activated. I was filled with energy suddenly and willpower. right? To pursue my goals, But know that this isn't forever. This will be deactivated in 3 days, right? When this moves. So driven to succeed using your willpower. And this is ensuring that the 2145, if you have this natally, it's not just for you, it's for others, right? It's a tribal channel. So it's making sure that others are being provided for too. So if you've been following North Carolina and what's going on down there, that's a perfect example of the cross of planning breaking down. They can't count on little g. They can't count on this bureaucracy to take care of the people there, but people are stepping up, and it's like we can count on each other, right? With the helicopter, people are really pitching in, and they're realizing, no, we have to do this. We can't rely on the government. So this is a perfect example of the cross of the sleeping phoenix starting to surface, that energy, and then also this transit. Let's make sure everybody's needs are provided for. Well, let's deliver food and clothing and blankets and things for the people that are stranded, right? So that's interesting to see out in the world, because this, you can see the transit at work, right, out in the external world. Okay, so this got activated. So let's go to the star of the show here. So this is the 1-8, right? And this got activated yesterday, October 3rd. October 3rd is yesterday. And it's going to be there until about Wednesday. Wednesday it will be activated. So it's really, this is like a blessing. That's what I see. Because this is an individual channel, right? So the gate number 1 is in Venus. And then it's activating the 8th gate, which is in Uranus. And Uranus will be there in the 8th gate for a while, right? So this is an individual channel, okay? So it's an individual channel. All the ones that go down the center are individual, right? The centers are the individual circuitry, okay? So what does this mean with this transit? It means that this is the self. That yellow shape is the self. Like your authentic self, your true identity. And then this is the throat, right? So you'll be able to speak from yourself, your authentic self. Notice there's no mind. It's not speaking from your mind. It's speaking for your deepest identity, who you really are, and you're able to speak. The other beauty of individual circuitry is it's designed to be immune to influence and conditioning by others, right? So I have this natally, so I know this really, really well, and I'm a pure individual, so I did not get the memo about how the tribe works and how the collective works, but I know how I work, so I can explain this to you. That's the big word for individuals, is explain. So maybe put in the comment box, if you're watching the replay, or the chat box, if you have this natally. I notice people that I do readings for, a lot of more and more of people with this channel of the creative role model are coming to me. So that's interesting. So you're immune to influence, right? You're immune to conditioning. So this transit for you can really get you to tap into your identity, right? Your true identity, and to really speak from that place, not from your mind, right? Or the not self, ego, right? It's going to come from you. It's going to be so authentic to you. So you want to trust this voice. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the 1-8. And the 1-8 is a projected channel. It's a projected channel. So remember the types. You want to know your human design type. Well, there's channels that are different types in a sense. It's not about your aura type, but it's about the flavor of the channel. So this is projected, and if you're a projector, you got to be recognized. You have to be invited. So this is an invitation. You need an invitation to speak, right? Because this 1-8 is about empowering others. It's about empowerment's the big word, the key word. For individuals, sharing is for collective, and support is for tribal. right? But for individual, it's an empowerment. It's empowerment. So the 1-8 is the most creative channel, because it's coming from the 1, right? The 1, the gate of the creative, and then the gate of contribution, right? So mutation happens through this voice when you speak from the self, right? Mutation happens. But you have got to explain everything. You have to explain everything, right? So this I can totally relate to, because the not self projector is bitter. I've gone through periods of this when I have to explain myself. And if you're an individual, a pure individual like me, you need to learn to explain yourself. I was so resistant when I heard that, right? Because I get bitter when I have to explain myself, because I'm 3 parts right in my variable, and then I'm a pure individual, and I'm a projector. And it's all in there. But people will stop me when I'm in the flow. Like when I'm speaking, that's the 1-8. When you're in this flow and you're just speaking from your identity and asking questions like, how do you know that? Or what are the details? What's the proof of that? Or no, that's the wrong use of this word, right? And it gets me bitter, right? It gets me bitter because that's the flow. It's like, remember when you're a kid and you played jump rope? And you got this flow going with everybody, and somebody jumps in and then ruins it all, right? That's what it feels like. So you've got to get really good at explaining. That's your gift in terms of mutation, especially if you have this natally, right? So, and it's interesting too. I'm going to do... This is Diego Rivera, Frida Kahlo's partner, who's an artist. He's got the 1-8 here. I'm going to actually do a relationship reading on these two. They're very interesting to me, the human design reading. So I'll let you know when that comes out. So he has the 1-8, right? He has the 1-8. So he was an artist, right, in Mexico City. He did murals. So he used this gift of explanation through his murals. His murals were telling a story. His murals told a story. But was he really known for his art after his death? No, he was known for it as a character. His character, that's what he was known for. He was quite the character, because the 1-8s are the one-offs, right? Limited edition, right? 1-8. So known for the character, but that's how he used his explanation, right? So it's more than just using your voice per se, but it's very, very creative, the 1-8. And it's the only creative voice, right? Because look at these other voices, the 31 and the 33. These are all voices. This is the only one. It's the voice of the individual, right? It's a roll gate. It's the only one. So right here with the 1-8 is I know, because this is the channel of it's the channel of the creative role model, but it's about making a contribution or not. Remember, there's always a binary in human design. It's like yes, I can make a contribution. No, I can't. But it's I know, right? So this is a leadership channel. The 31-7 is a leadership channel. The 33-13 is a leadership channel, and the 1-8 is a leadership channel. So the 31-7 is leading by looking at future trends and then looking where to go, direction. The 33-13 is learning from the past. What do we need to learn from the past to move forward? And the 1-8 is none of that. The 1-8 is I know in the present now moment. The present now moment, right? I know. So this is another thing, just so people that have this channel. What I battle with are my online retreats and trying to gather things together and organize and try to get people to come on board for this experience of the online retreat. But I don't know until I'm in the now, right? What it's going to be. It's like this live stream right now. I never know what it's going to be because I'm just in the now. I just show up. But I know I can contribute. I can help you today in this present now moment. And I'm not speaking from my mind. I'm speaking from myself, my identity. So those people that like get critical, I'm not speaking to your ego. I'm speaking to yourself, right? So the ego is always going to be like wanting to correct things that I say and this and that. I don't speak from my mind. Like if I'm not for you, if you want logic and details and proof, like I'm not for you. Like go to another human design person, right? I'm not for you. But if you're interested in evolving, right, and being your authentic self and really transitioning through this cross of the sleeping phoenix unscathed, thriving, then I'm your guy, right? But you'll know by my voice. You'll know by my voice because the individual is very acoustic, right? So you're going to feel the vibration somewhere in your body, and there's going to be you'll be resonating. It's not about mind and logic, and right? And this is cross the planning. This is all about frequency. It's like, okay, I resonate with that frequency. There's something there. There's truth there, right? Okay. So what else for the 1-8? Okay. So here to empower. And if you have the 1-8 in terms of school, like schooling, an education system is not designed for people with the 1-8, right? The 1-8s just need to know the basics, the very basics, and then they run with it. That's the mutation, right? That's the creativity. They run with it. So you want to listen to your voice. Remember, you're under the transit, so you're going to be resonating with what I'm saying. But remember, it's not going to last forever. So you want to listen to your voice. Right? Your voice is going to let you know. Your voice will let you know. Especially if you're in the child, like back to this inner teen child vibration, that you'll notice your voice changes. That's the not self. That's the not self. When your voice is the same and it's feeling like it's you're listening to it, that it's coming from a deeper place, then that's you. That's your authentic self. Right? Or you're just spinning off in your head. A lot of people speak from their mind. They just want to speak from their mind, and they're monologuing basically. They're not connected to themselves. I can feel it. You start to feel ungrounded in their presence, right? And you start to tune out. You'll start to tune out. So you want to listen to your voice and where it's coming from with the 1-8, and then you know it's coming from a true place. So this is all about expression, but it's expressing your unique self. Your unique self. Okay. And like I said, the 1-8, you can never organize what you're going to say, right? You're never going to be able to organize what you want to say. That's for the other leadership channels, but not for the 1-8. Okay, so you want to stop going to your mind, and you can see these people, right? When they're talking and they're totally, their whole awareness is up in their head, in their mind, and they're just a head on a stick talking. You want to be like present, like really in your body, and then speak from that place. And if, even go to your heart, right? Like bring all your awareness to your heart chakra and speak from that place. It's going to be authentic and true, but you don't know what's going to come. Right out of the place, right? Like, look, we still have the 48. 48's still activated after the lunar eclipse. Remember the solar eclipse was activating this 48, the well. You never know what's going to come out. So the 1, you can't escape this deep need to express yourself. That's the gate of the creative. But what it comes with is melancholy, right? So it's not depression. It's like a chemistry in your body where you feel low. That means something's gestating inside you. So you need to be okay with feeling low sometimes. Just know that there's something happening, right? You're seeing things differently. You're starting to see things differently, and then you're going to express and explain that to others to empower them to mutate and change. So where you lose power with the 1-8 is when you're trying to imitate others. when you're trying to imitate others. Well, I like the way that they speak like this, and that, no, you lose all your power here, and you lose your power to mutate, right? So everybody going through this transit is now going to have the power to mutate the other, through expressing their own individual self, right? Their authentic self, their identity. Yeah. What else did I want to say about that? So that's going until Wednesday. Let me just check here. Okay. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Wednesday it gets deactivated. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and the fear here with the 8, right? With the 8 is what other people think. What other people think of me. Fear of judgment, right? This is the not self. That's totally the not self. I have to fit in. I can't say that, right? So look at the collective. We're going to really see people feeling empowered to speak their truth, right? This is Red October. We're getting the October surprise because remember, Pluto's still in Capricorn until November 18th, so we're going to get the surprise. So this transit is really going to empower people to speak their truth and come out and talk about what they've seen, right? And you know what story I'm talking about. Okay. So if we go to the tarot, just quickly here, with the 1/8 channel, and this is the degrees. I looked at the degrees, and of course, Venus is moving through all the Scorpio gates that I talked about in the last video. But right now it's in the 1.2 as of now. So it's in the second decan, right? According to the degrees, right? 10 to 20 degrees. So that's the 6 of Cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6 of Cups. And then Uranus is in the 7 of Pentacles. So these two join forces to do this channel of the creative role model. So to me, Uranus, right? This is all about your authenticity. All about your authenticity. And it's about, the third line is, it's called phony. Each one has a line. It's called phony. And phony not in the sense of the negative. It's phony meaning like, oh, I'm wearing this costume in my life. I'm playing this role. And our roles can be authentic to us as long as you know who you are. We all play roles. You could play the role of a sister or a daughter or a mother, teacher, but they're roles. They're not necessarily, they're what you do. They're not who you are, right? They're not your being, basically. So this is what this is saying. Uranus is shaking up maybe an old tired role that you've played since childhood. 6 of Cups, right? That's about your childhood memories, right? And it's in Venus, so how you relate to others, right? And Scorpio, like I said, goes deep. So we'll go deep and go to the root of these childhood roles that we play. And that's another thing we do in the online retreat is dissolve these roles that aren't you, that follow you well into adulthood, right? And then you look at what you're going to invest in. This is like investment. What am I going to invest in, right? Well, you're not going to invest in these old roles that aren't you, right? You get to choose. You want to choose consciously what those roles are that you play, because we have to play roles. Right? We have to play some roles. So childhood memories can be coming up during this time, like any blocks with that 1/8, where you couldn't be your authentic self, that wasn't allowed, right? And all it takes is something from early childhood, the educational system, of course, because this is very creative. It's artistic. But it's different than, the 1/8 is different than this, right? Because this is creative too, the 16, 18. But this is about having skills and, You actually have a medium. The 1-8 is like, it's the wild card. You don't know what the medium is going to be, but it's all about explaining what is inside being mutated. And your job as the individual is to express that out. And then you mutate the tribe, and then the tribe mutates the collective. The tribe will never mutate the collective or vice versa, right? And we're seeing the battle right now with the collective versus the individual. The collective wants censorship. The collective wants control of the narrative. The collective wants to cancel people, right? That's the collective. The individual is like, no, the individual is free, right? Unapologetic expression of the self, the individual, right? But the individual can't mutate the collective. It can only mutate members of the tribe. And that's how the mutation happens, right? So you as an individual, you explain yourself to somebody, and then they spread this mutation to their tribe, which is their family or their community or something. And then that ripples to the collective. But the collective has no interest in mutation. The tribe does, because they know that they won't survive unless they mutate. Yeah. Okay. So let me look at some comments. And then we keep motoring along here. Okay, good. You guys are writing down if you have it or not. So welcome. Okay. Yeah, exhausted. Okay, Marabani's got the one, the creative, but you don't know what the contribution on the other side. Well, you're going to feel the whole channel, right? This weekend and until Wednesday. Okay. Yeah, Paige. Yeah, they're really interesting, these the connection chart, because it's not like a synergy chart in Western astrology. In terms of human design, it's more of a composite chart, I would say. Yeah, but it gives you lots of information about the couple, and I've loved Frida Kahlo like a long time. Like followed her artwork since I was in my 20s, probably. Fascinating character. She's another one off that one, right? And you can see their dilemma in their relationship. Oh, that's why they had this problem and that problem, and why all these women were so attracted to Diego Rivera. It's like the mystery is solved with human design. Okay. Citram the Traveler says, I have the 1-8 MG. I'm not good at expressing myself by talking. Writing helps me express myself better. Yeah. That's very, very true. But Citram, you've got to, in terms of mutation, it's like to spread your writing out, like through publishing. And maybe that will give you the confidence to be able to stand in the aura of other people and just speak your mind, right? Especially if it's going against the narrative, right? That's brings up a lot of fear for people, that they have to stand as a community of one. For a while, they have no community, no allies. It's very lonely being an individual. Ra talked about that. It can be very, very lonely. Yeah, you inspire others by living authentically. That's true, Jen. Good one. Just by being yourself. And this is what the 6 lines have to realize too, the 6 line profiles. They're the role models too, what it means to be a self-sovereign being. Yeah. But you can't, in terms of the I know, Hari Das, it's not like you can force that I know. It comes at its own timing, because all individual circuitry works in a pulse. That's the mutation. It's there, it's gone. It's gone, it's gone. It's there. You have no control over it. Okay. Rip along here. Isn't that interesting, eh? Ripple says, I didn't think I could sing well by myself until I started to heal my inner child. Because you can't sing without being authentic. You can't fake that. Like when you're really singing from yourself, your identity. It's very vulnerable, like your words and everything. Yeah. And you have to be in touch with your inner child. Yeah. Okay, this is great. Yeah, so this is the time to really express yourself in a creative way too. Okay. Okay, great. That's great. Okay, so let's go for some readings here. And remember, I'm going to do the full moon soon, because that's October 17th. That's the next fiery hoop that we're going to be jumping through. Okay, so let's get the overlays. And we'll start off with the twin flames. Okay. So keep in mind, you notice that I edit the twin flame part out and I make a separate video. I'm doing that so that the twin flame people, I'm leaving little breadcrumbs for them to get to human design and Kundalini yoga, because the twin flame connection, once it gets activated, it's so out there. There's no logical explanation for it, right? It's so beyond our scope that it forces people on their spiritual journey, but it forces them to be their authentic self. So we're talking about this 1/8, this 1/8. So if you're watching the edit, you want to go to the longer video, and there's the 1/8. We're talking about the 1/8 channel. So this is all about being your authentic self, right? But it's also about expressing your authentic self, and it's all about embodiment of your authentic self. So that's exactly what the twin flame journey is about. It's throwing off not self. It's bringing up those deep, deep shadows, right? To be integrated. It's bringing up the not self. Oh my God, I've been living a lie for so long. The twin flame mirrors that back to you, and vice versa, where you've been living a lie, right? And of course, the ego doesn't like that. The ego doesn't like that. The ego likes to be attached. It likes to know everything, right? Things work this way, logic, strategy. This is how relationships work. But it's about an ego death, and that's your not self. So that's what gets triggered. Okay, so I did cards here. I don't have time to do the animal card, which I didn't like to sacrifice, but we had to keep with this because of the time. So this is the chaser, and this is the runner, right? So this is the polarity of the soul, right? What happens in the twin flame journey is one becomes the chaser, right? And one becomes the runner, but it's coming from the same frequency, right? So authenticity in the twin flame journey does not mean that you're the same. Because there's that misconception. Well, we're the same. No, you're not the same. This is the same. The frequency of the soul is the same. The essence is the same, that frequency, but how it's expressed is different. And that's what you want to embrace, is this, your authenticity, So let's see. So this is the twin flame reading for this transit. When Uranus is in the 8, right? And Venus is in the 1. Right? So Uranus in the 8 is breaking you away from not self, breaking everything that's not you. So it can feel like your life's falling apart, like all these things are happening, nothing goes right for me. That's the ego talking. Everything's going right for you. Soon as you start to see losses, it's like everything's going right for me. Things are being taken away because they don't fit with my authentic self. This is a gift. It's being ripped from you, ripped away from you. It's ripping that mask off your face so that you can really, really be yourself in this lifetime. And then we've got the Venus, right? And this is what you value. It's your relationships, and speaking in an authentic way from who you really are is really, really important during this transit. And the great thing is you're going to be immune to I worry about what other people think of me, and what would people think if I did this and I did that, and broke away from these friends that want me, that are connected to my not self. Even your family of origin can be connected to your not self. These are these old roles that we take on in childhood, right? Even your family of origin. You can't assume that your family of origin are on your soul tribe, right? Or on your fractal line, right? You could be karmically placed there for a reason. And these are the black sheep, right? The black sheep, they're the alchemists. They're here to alchemize ancestral wounding, which is another role too of the runner and chaser, right? To alchemize these old ancestral patterns, relationship patterns that just serve this program, right? They just serve the not self. They're not serving a true authenticity. Okay, so let's look at the chaser first. And so these are the ego cards. Two jumped out. And this is you're not alone. You're all alone. That's what the ego is telling you. You're all alone. And then nihilism. Okay, so this is the ego. What the ego is going to come up with the 1-8, right? So you have to remember, runner and chaser, this is your true enemy, is this ego. And this is the not self that's keeping you out of your power, Okay, so the ego is telling the chaser that there's no support for you. You're all alone. There's nobody understands. Maybe nobody understands this twin flame journey, because this could be a lonely path. As an individual, it can be lonely. As a twin flame, this can be very lonely, because not many people on the planet can understand. Though you're going to sound like you're insane if you start to describe what this is to just a person that's never experienced this. They'll try to pathologize it. That's what the West does. When they don't understand something, they pathologize it and make it into, put it in the DSM-3 or the DSM-4 now, or whatever number they're at, right? And try to medicate you out of it and do all this therapy to get you out of it. That's when they don't understand evolution. This is evolution. Twin flames, this is the evolution of our relationships. Okay, so it can feel lonely. And there's the ego telling you you're all alone. No one understands you. There's no support for you. Because in the dark night of the soul, I'm surprised we didn't get the dark night of the soul card. You can feel very alone. And remember, the lunar eclipse activated the 36th gate, and that's the dark night of the soul. The point is to be alone, right? Chaser, the point is to be alone, to be in your own frequency, so that you know your frequency, that you have your primary relationship. It's not with your twin flame, it's with God, it's with the divine, right? So there's the ego, you're alone, but it's really a lie. You're not alone, you're with the divine. And this is what we really want, but the ego projects it on the twin flame, because you get that feeling of oneness, right? Alone, right? If you look at the word alone, it's all oneness, right? That's what it really is. It's all oneness when you're with the divine. But you get this feeling when you connect with your twin flame, whether you're aware of it or not. It's this sense of oneness, this oneness that's already inside you, but they help activate it. They activate what's not that. That's why the chaos ensues, right? But the ego will say it's them. You need to get them back. You need to fix them. You need to wait for them, and then you can have this feeling back. And it's already there inside you, right? They're just the trigger. They just have come and triggered this, right? So so the nihilism card, right? This is like life is hopeless. Life is hopeless. The ego tells you that life is meaningless. There's no divine, right? It's the Easter Bunny. I remember somebody told me that once. Believing in the divine is like believing in the Easter Bunny. It can bring depression, right? It can bring depression. But I also want to say with the nihilism, it's part of this great shift of the ages that we're going through too. That many people, it said, the ancients said this, there's many people on the planet will feel this sense of nihilism, like the black pilled, right? It's like, oh, they're so pessimistic about life and what's happening, and there's no change, and it's like Groundhog Day. It's gray, 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 gray. This is the gray period of the planet that we're in. And it's just because everything's shifting and changing, including our bodies and our chemistry too, right? So this is coming closer with the chasers going through this the dark night of the soul. You want to embrace it. So embrace your solitude and your aloneness, right? The divine has taken everything away, all these supports, so that you can go deep, deep inside yourself. That's the point of the twin flame journey, is to realize that you're a soul. That's what you're awakening up to. That you're a soul in the real sense of the word. That it's not like an imagination. It's real. It's real. So the more and more you feel that emptiness, right? The more and more you feel this emptiness and life is meaning, you're getting closer and closer to your power. So to know that, don't give up. Don't give up. You're getting closer and closer with your power. But as you come closer and closer through this emptiness, right? The ego is going to get stronger and stronger with that voice. You're all alone. There's no meaning, right? And then it will come out with the trump card, right? Which is, just off yourself. That's the last, when suicidal thoughts come, you know you're really, really, really close, right? To something really big and huge. Yeah. So the chasers don't want to be listening to their ego or distracting yourself out of this process, right? So you want to embrace your aloneness now. And then the Hierophant on the bottom, which is what you don't see. In the Hierophant, that's spirituality, right? That's spiritual knowledge. This is deep spiritual knowledge that's waiting for you. That's waiting for you to finally, like, I'm not going to distract myself anymore. I'm going to embrace this aloneness, right? I'm not going to be thinking about the twin flame. I'm just going to go deep, deep, and deep into myself. And there's the Hierophant waiting for you. This is your inner teacher, right? This is your inner teacher. We all have an inner guru, right? Guru's not a person. Guru's an energy. It's a subtle form of energy that brings the light into the darkness, brings you out of darkness. You come out of the goo, right? With the ru, with the light within you, right? Takes you out of the darkness. What's the darkness? It's the darkness of the ego, the ignorance of the ego. So that's what you don't see, that you have all this help. You do have a lot of support, right? There's the ego telling you got no support. And then the Hierophant is like, you got plenty of support. You just need to shut off that ego and mind, not listen to it, and come deeper into yourself, right? So that's very, very positive. That's real support when you have the support of the divine, not a person, the support of the divine. Okay, and then the guidance here is the Four of Swords, which is retreat, right? The Four of Swords. It's kind of the only positive swords in tarot. The Four of Swords, and that's to retreat, to go inside during this 1/8 transit. You have the opportunity to really speak from your authentic self, through writing, like somebody mentioned that on the chat, like writing, journaling, maybe some kind of art practice that you feel comfortable with, like drawing or painting, whatever it is, dancing even. It's just all expressing yourself. But this is about going deep within. This would be meditation, right? Meditation. And go deep, deep within. And then face this Nine of Swords, right? That's the guidance. This is the anxiety. This is the anxiety. The mental anxiety, right? This is being in the mind because the mind is freaking out. Remember, we're going through the solar plexus mutation. We're coming into spirit awareness. Of course, anxiety is going to be there because we're so used to giving our power over to our mind. It doesn't want to lose control. So it's going to bring out a lot of fears, right? A lot of fear will come up. And again, this is part of the dark night of the soul. It's facing your innermost fears. But you have to go within to do it. You can't feel it out here on the external and try to control it. It's an inside job. Yeah. So that's through the chaser. So if you're new to the twin flame connection, then, and you identify as the chaser, then, you know, in terms of the twin flames, the chaser goes first. It goes deep, deep, deep in. So this is saying that you've got the opportunity to go right to the bottom, like even go deeper now into this dark night of the soul. Okay. And then we've got the runner on the other side. And there's definitely a mirroring here. And this the give up. Kind of like the nihilism card, right? Give up. Give up, it's hopeless. So remember that the runner really experiences this ego death on the external. Right, on the external. The chaser, it's really internal. They really feel it. Because remember, they're evolving through the emotional body. And the runners are evolving through the mental body. And the mental body is the one that's really entrenched in the Maya. Right? So again, it depends even on your chart. Your human design chart will show you, when you go deep into the chart, into tone, it will show you some are like so merged with the Maya because of how their mind works that it's really difficult to like untangle the mind from Maya, their own personal mind from Maya, right? So what gets their attention? The soul is trying to get their attention, and that's like chaos, tower moments out. Remember, we got the tower card last time too for the solar eclipse, right? So that's the soul getting the runner's attention. Like, break out of this Maya. You're in a dream, right? Wake up out of this dream that this is just a material world, that this is it, and it's logical, and this is what I have to do to be safe, right? The soul is like, this is the alarm clock for the runners. Right? So this is the breakdown of the ego. The ego's like, this hopeless. I have no control. I used to have so much control over my material world and my relationships. Now I don't. All these things are going wrong in my life. It's hopeless. Right? Then the ego's saying to give up. Right? To give up. So it could be a little bit of a mirroring of this nihilism between the runner and the chaser. But it's saying to, persevere. So maybe you have a dream, right? And you're trying to get out of this karma that you're in, right? Because we talk about often the runner is involved in a karmic relationships, and they go through a karmic cycle. They have to go through a karmic cycle. This is what they're learning, right? So it can feel like hopeless. This karma feels hopeless. I can never get out of this karmic relationship. I can never get out of this karmic situation. And the ego is saying, no, it's hopeless, right? Just give up. Just stay with it, right? Better the devil you know than the one you don't. Like things like that. It's too unsafe. Things are too uncertain. This happiness is all like Easter Bunny, Santa Claus stuff. It's all an illusion. That's how the ego will talk to you. But this card is saying that you're so close. Again, and the closer you get to your power, the closer you get to completing a karmic cycle, then the ego gets more and more vicious. More and more vicious. And then you've got failure on the other side, right? And the ego's telling you that you're a failure. Give up. Here's the ego messages. And you're a failure. And you're a failure. So the runners have to look back at this word failure. Does it have a stigma attached to it for you, this word failure? because this failure is coming from ancestors. Your ancestors, this failure can go back to two. We're going to be, oh, isn't that interesting? Just a little heads up, the full moon is activating the 32. I think the 32 is there. Is that right? 32? No, it's anyway, don't believe me on that one. I'm not certain about that. But anyway, I know the 32 is part of that chart. I haven't looked at it in depth yet, but that's for my next live stream. But the 32 is the shadow of failure, right? Right here, off the spleen. So this is money, right? The 32 represents money. Okay. Right there. So there can be, this failure can involve money, right? Well, I can't leave this karmic situation because I know there's a steady paycheck, right? There's a steady paycheck. There's money. There's material support here, right? So right away, this tells me there's no trust. There's no trust in the divine here, right? It's putting your trust in the ego. It's putting your trust in the material world, right? And that's not a good place to be right now, especially with the shakeups for the runners, right? They're getting shook up. The soul is pounding them with things not going right, right? Things not going right. But it's also ancestral. Let's go back to that with the runners. It's ancestral here. So this would go with the karmic cycle, right? So maybe you're in a karmic cycle right now and it involves money, karmic relationships, right? You're unhappy, right? The ego is saying you're a failure, give up, dreaming for anything more, dreaming for happiness, right? Dreaming of fulfillment and satisfaction, dreaming for to fulfill your highest potential, right? The ego is trying to put a wet blanket on all of that, right? On the inspiration, right? Inspiration that's coming. So this is something that's closing. And again, I want to say that you're getting really, really close, and to persevere and stay with it. Stay with it. Okay. And you want to keep trying. You want to try whatever your intuition is telling you to do. Try. Don't listen to the ego, right? Don't listen to the ego. So you need you need to meditate. I can't stress that enough with runners, chasers, projectors, MGs, Gs, reflectors, manifestors, is meditation, because meditation gives you a relationship between you and your mind. And then you realize that this voice is not you. A lot of people think that ego's voice is them, right? They don't know what their intuition sounds like. There's the ego pretending. The ego can pretend it's your intuition, right? So to meditate will really, really help you to discern those, right? What's your true self and your soul's voice, and then what's your intuition saying? Yeah. Okay. So let's go to what you don't see. What you don't see, runners, is choice. Two of Swords is about making a choice. It's about making a choice. So you have to see that you are making a choice. You are making a choice. You're not a victim to this. You're not a victim to this mind and this ego. You are making a choice. And what's your choice? Is you're listening to your ego. You're listening to that ego and you're not listening to the soul. And you're unaware of this. So right away, because we're talking the 1-8, I'm empowering you right now as a natal 1-8, is you are making a choice. There's no such thing as a victim. I'm choosing to listen to this voice. I'm choosing not to move forward and what my intuition is telling me to do, right? I'm making a choice. So right there, just own that. It's like, okay, I'm making a choice. I'm not aware of this, but I'm just going to take it in and just let it percolate, right? Percolate that I'm making a choice. And you start with each and every moment where I'm making a choice. I'm making a choice to listen to this. Okay, I'm going to make the choice to listen to my intuition now more and more. And your intuition will get stronger and stronger. And then the reality starts to shift. So also make the choice that this karmic cycle is ended. It's the solar eclipse. It's ended, right? So sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to catch up on the external through time and space. Okay, so that, the Two of Swords. And then the guidance is beautiful. It's the Ace of Cups. New beginnings in love, right? So new beginnings in love. This is for you, right? Runners, this is for you. This is what the divine wants for you. Is love. Is love. There's a cup being offered to you by the divine. Could be being offered to you by your twin flame. There's the cup, right? The cup is there for you. It's all divinely orchestrated for you. But you have to love yourself first, right? You're not going to receive that cup unless you love yourself first, right? If you're in your ego, it's like this suspicion. What's that person want from me? They want to manipulate me. They want to hurt me. They want to betray me, right? That's the ego. The ego will never accept true love. It will only accept the ego's version of love, right? The tit for tat, the conditional love, which isn't real love. So you have to love yourself first. And then, isn't that interesting? You got the Nine of Wands. And what did I say? Persistence. Where's the Nine of Wands? The Nine of Wands. See? And that's the wounded warrior. That's the warrior. That has to not give up. Don't give up hope. Don't listen to the ego that says you're a failure. You're ready for success. You're so close to success, right? So you're persevering, staying strong with this love, with your own self-love, right? So the 1-8 is going to help you with that because that energy is coming from your authentic self. I love myself and I deserve better than this. I want something better than this in my life, right? So it just takes some discipline here. And then there's the overall energy, right? The 8 of Wands. This is movement, right? This is movement. This is communication for both, right? Both runner and chaser. So does it mean it's movement and communication with one another? Maybe, maybe not. But it's definitely movement on your spiritual journey as an individual, right? Because we're in the 1-8 transit. Yeah. So I really feel the 1-8 is supporting the twin flame connections at this time. Okay. So let's keep going because I got an hour. Okay. And we'll go to the generators. The generators. The generators. Just somebody saying this about the okay. The dark night of the soul is all about surrendering. It's just surrendering your ego to the divine. So it's almost you have to put your hands in prayer pose and you have to just say, like after your meditation practice, please take away this ego to the divine. Please take away this ego, this not self. And then you add, please take the one that's asking to take this ego, right? This not self, the two, right? take it away. So that you can truly be your authentic self, right? That's you without ego. And the ego, I mean, we need a little slimmer of an ego. Like, my name is, I have a body, I have to operate on this planet, but it's got to be in its correct position, right? Which is lower than the soul. So I would do that as a prayer, right? A standing prayer to do that. Because the ego is not going to willingly, oh yeah, I'll surrender. No. It's like Gollum, right? In the Lord of the Rings. Remember, he has the ring at the end, and if finally they're going to throw it in the pit of fire in Mordor and destroy it for good. And there he comes, right? Grabs it from Frodo. Precious, precious. That's the ego. Will never surrender willingly. Okay, so generators. So we're talking about the 1/8 generators. So you want to watch the beginning of the video to learn more about this. But this is really a gift, this transit, till Wednesday. Right? And it's going to make you, has the potential, I'm not going to say it's going to make you because you have to choose, to speak from your authenticity. And you're going to have this shield of protection around you where you're not influenced by others, right? You won't be immune to others. Okay. So let's do, I'm going to throw these back in actually. So let's do, we'll do an ego card for the generators for this transit. Okay. What do we have for the generators? Let's do a card for the generators. Okay, let's look at, actually we'll do these ones. Okay, what's the guidance for the generators? What's the guidance for the generators? Okay. Okay, generators. You got the You're All Alone card. You have to watch the Twin Flame reading too, because they got this. The Chaser got this. You're all alone, and then you got the Nine of Pentacles, and then the Four of Wands, which is the Twin Flame card. So this is about there's no support, right? There's no support for you. There's no support for you. So this is what the ego is telling you through this 1/8. And my sense is, let's bring it back to this 1/8 transit, which is about speaking from your authentic self. This is creative self-expression. It's speaking from your identity. It's not speaking from your mind. It's speaking from your identity. And this can be a very vulnerable place, especially if you come from a home life where this was not allowed to speak from your authentic self, right? That's my sense. Right? So this can go back to childhood. I'm just throwing this out because it's kind of coming up in my awareness right now that you could have been punished. Children are often punished for speaking the truth. Maybe expressing a need, right? From the G Center, you expressed a need and then you got punished. Put in your room, right? And if you have an open spleen If this is not colored in, this can be the worst thing for a child with an open spleen, because they feel insecure. They feel insecure. And when they're in solitude, they'll doubly feel that, right? So it can work like that, right? So the ego is like, well, I don't want that to happen again, right? And this is where the teen, going back to the teen, the online retreat, the teen does, right? This is the teen, because there's different versions of the ego generators. And this is where the teen can come in, your inner teen. And it's like, no, you can't do that. You can't speak from this place, this vulnerable place again, because you don't want to end up in the room again in solitude. Now, is that going to happen? You know, you're 40 some years old, right? No, nobody's going to put you in your room. I hope nobody would. But it's that feeling, right? So this is what the inner teen is protecting you from, is that feeling, that shame and isolation and abandonment again, right? So it can work that way, because we're talking about this is going to really show you, this transit generators, where you don't speak your truth. Not what you think you should say or what that other person wants to say or what's politically correct to say. Is no, what's coming from you, coming from deep within your true identity, and that's the G center, right? So it can bring up some nervousness, and that's these old feelings from childhood. Just because it's the Four of Wands, this is home too. It represents home. And the, and the Venus is in the Six of Cups, right? Uranus, this is the 1-8, right? So Uranus is in the 8, see there? And then Venus is in the 1. That makes the channel there. And that's the Six of Cups, and that's your childhood memories. So it can work that way. But the guidance here is that there is support for you, right? So that's the truth. There is support from you. And spirit awareness can work through anybody. So just to know, when you're in truth, when you're in the frequency of truth, and you're truly speaking from your authenticity, you will be supported. You'll be supported by the divine, because you're in truth. Right? You're in truth. You're in love. This is self-love, the place of self-love. That's what the universe is made up of, is truth and love, like true love, right? Not narcissistic love, but really love of the self. And then you've got the Nine of Pentacles, right? So this is saying that to be okay on your own, right? So maybe you've got some trip in your head. The ego is giving you some trip that you can't take care of yourself, that you need people, because it's the Pentacles. So it's the material realm, right? Well, I can't say that to them because, this will happen. That's the strategy, right? The strategic ego. That's the cross of planning. I got to be all political with my mind, right? And what I say. And the Nine of Pentacles is like, no, you're fine. You're fine on your own. And that's the thing, when you reach Sleeping Phoenix, when you're independent, right? When you're independent and taking care, you're not in you're not in codependency, because that has to go, then you can speak your truth, because you're not relying on anybody. Do you see? The people that pay the bills, right? They pay the bills, they hold the purse strings, they have control. That's the payoff, the tit for tat. There's a payoff there. And the payoff is you give away your power and you can't speak the truth to them. And every time you do that, you're betraying yourself, you're lying to yourself, and it's taking away your power, right? It's taking away your power. So I would suggest this, generators, is to grab a spine, really grab a spine this week, and really start to speak your truth. And maybe you're too afraid to do it in front of another person. Start with your journal writing, and start there. And then go and start speaking your truth to others. Because it's saying that you're supported. The energy is saying that you'll be supported in this. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Nine of Pentacles is also self-employment. So maybe you'll be getting some ideas, right? We just got out of the solar eclipse, that you may be getting some insights of like working. I want to work for myself. I want to be self-employed. Plus we've got the 2145 there too, right? This is about the material, having the willpower to pursue your goals on the material realm. That helps not only yourself, but others as yourself, the 1-8, right? The 1-8. So maybe that's coming through too, but you need to speak the truth, right? That's what I see. You need to speak the truth to someone and break out. Okay. So that's the generators. So let's go to the MGs. Manifesting generators. Okay, manifesting generators. We're talking about this channel, the creative role model, the 1-8. And Venus is activating the 1, the first gate, and then Uranus is activating the 8 for the channel. So that's the 7 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups here. So this is about shaking you up. Plus it's a third line, right? Uranus, the third line. Whenever you see a third line after a number, it's very material. It's related to the material realm. And it's like, what are you investing in, right? Uranus wants that bush shaken, right? The things that you're investing in that no longer serve you are going to get shaken up, right? And what's getting shaken up is your conditioning from childhood. This is your childhood right here. And Venus is in Scorpio, right? So it's here for a while until Wednesday, activating this. And Venus in Scorpio does not like superficiality and wants to get to the depth of things, right? Like what's truly aligned with me and what's not. What has followed me from childhood that's not real and it's not true. You know, it's like we have when you're learning to ride a bicycle as a kid and you got the training wheels on, you don't need those permanently, right? And it comes to a point where it becomes a danger to actually have those training wheels on when you get your balance. And that's what's happening here. Uranus is like these training wheels that you've been relying on and leaning on. Could be relationships or a job situation or a place of living. It has to come off now because it's detrimental to your soul's journey. You have to remember you're on a spiritual journey. You're here to evolve and grow. As a soul, you signed the contract before you incarnate it, right? Okay. So the 1-8 is really about speaking from your authentic self and transcending your fear of what other people think of you. And also the fear, you know, that you don't have what it takes. We're still in that 48, right? That's inadequacy, the shadow of inadequacy. Okay, and that's in the sun position. That's what the solar eclipse activated, the 48. Okay, and that's saying you have everything you need. It's inside of you. Okay, so what do we got for the MGs? What do we have for the MGs? Okay. I think the manifesting generator got that last time too. Let's see. Okay. What's the guidance for the manifesting generators? Okay. So the manifesting generator, the ego card they got was suppression. suppression, and then the hangman. The hangman. Okay. Oh, right on. Okay. So suppression. This is suppressing your authenticity. Right? So let's bring it to your response. This is going to be colored in if you're an MG. And maybe I'm just going to talk strategy, and you're getting a yes that you need to speak. You need to speak the truth. Right? And what happens is the not self mind is like, I need to squash this. I need to squash this. And when you squash that energy, because truth is a frequency, it's not just a thought in the head. Oh, I have to speak the truth and this is what I have to say. It's a frequency. Right? And this is getting like the energy on the planet is getting more and more and more intense, especially with Pluto coming out of Capricorn in the 29th degree, Neptune and Pisces in the 29th degree. You don't want to be messing with frequency. If there's energy trying to move through you and you're blocking this, you're blocking your sacral response, it's going to impact every part of your life, including your health. Your health will start going downhill, right? You start getting headaches. Your relationships are turning, like nothing is going right because as an MG, you're not, and you're a manifesting generator too, like even more intense because you're not using this energy correctly, right? So here we have, there's a gift here with the 1-8 because it's an individual channel. It's an individual channel, which means that it's immune to the influences of others, right? It's immune to the conditioning of others, which is, I can't say that, right? I couldn't say that. I better squash it. I better censor myself. I better get up here and speak from my mind, right? And the mind is like the most corrupt politician you'll ever meet would be the mind, right? The not self mind, not self, right? You want to be speaking from this. So my sense is that you have a habit, MGs, of doing this, of like really squashing your authentic voice, And so this transit is saying it's time to stop this and start speaking the truth, because whatever you don't deliver, right? So you don't deliver you, because you're here to, in this Scorpio and Venus, right? Right here, where's Scorpio and Venus? That's the first, right? The first gate, Venus and Scorpio is activating this. And Scorpio is, the archetype of Scorpio is also the birth of the self. That's the archetype of Scorpio, is birthing yourself, your authentic self. This is the life, death, rebirth, 8th house, Pluto, Mars, right? Those ruling planets of Scorpio. So it's about birthing the self. So if we go back up here and you're squashing and repressing because you're listening to that crazy politician mind in your head, then what you don't deliver, which is this frequency of truth and your authenticity, it's going to lead to distortion and it will destroy you. What you don't deliver destroys you, right? So what I see with the MGs is the clock is ticking, tick, 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 tick. It's coming to an end. Like this, when you play games with it like this now and not be your authentic self, you're just going to attract chaos, chaos, chaos into your life, so that you finally let go and you finally trust your authentic voice, right? This is, you can rely on this. Your authenticity is your superpower, right? So to me, it's like you're blocking your intuition. You're blocking your authentic voice. You're listening to your mind and your ego. And all it takes, I feel like a broken record with the types, is meditation, to get into a meditation practice, right? And then you can discern, oh, that's my crazy ass ego talking to me, right? like just throwing out fear at me left and right, telling me I'm no good, I'm not good enough, whatever lies it's telling you, right? With meditation, then you're able to silence that mind, right? The mind will eventually silence as you get more and more into your meditation practice. And then you can listen to your intuition. And your intuition is always going to come from love. This is self-love right here. It's always going to come from love. It's never going to tell you you're no good, right? It's going to help you, right? So the more you suppress, you'll distort this energy, right? And this is what, if you are dealing with anxiety and obsessive thinking, you're obsessively thinking about something, right? That means you're suppressing your energy. As soon as you make a little teeny little baby step towards what your intuition is telling you to do, the anxiety and the obsessive thinking will start to dissolve. Your soul is trying to get your attention, right? But the language of the Aquarian age is action, right? So it's taking action, which is like, like I'm going to make a little teeny weeny baby step towards this today. And it's going to release this energy. Yeah. So that's my sense with the suppression card, right? And then you've got the Hangman. This is the Enlightenment card. You see, he's got the arc line. His arc line's all lit up. His halo's all lit up. So the guidance here is to look at things differently. Look at things differently, right? Because this is saying you're caught in this mousetrap of your mind that's creating anxiety, maybe depression and distorted thinking. You're not seeing things clearly. The Hangman, it says, look at things differently, right? Right? Have a new perspective on things, and it's about surrender, right? I'm going to surrender. I'm going to trust. That's what surrender is. We hear this word so much in the spiritual community, and if we frame it in human design, surrender, what we're surrendering is giving our authority over to our minds. We're surrendering that and using our strategy and authority, which is your sacral. That's your strategy. Giving your authority over, that's surrender. I'm going to start listening to my strategy, using my sacral, speaking, right, with the yes or no. Listening to my intuition, listening to my heart, looking at things differently. And this will help your mind. Your mind right now is crazy. That's my sense with manifesting generators. Your mind's crazy. It's not seeing reality as it is because you're suppressing this energy, right? You're suppressing this energy of truth. And then you'll start to see things differently, right? He's upside down. You want to see things upside down. But it starts with this authentic expression, right? With the 1-8. Okay. Anything else for the MGs? And B, I know what I wanted to say for the manifesting generators. So you want to be gentle with yourself, right? Maybe you're not used to this, speaking from this vulnerable place, right? Because it brings up this 6 of Cups energy, your childhood, right? Because you're speaking from your innocence, right? You're speaking from your innocence here. And so you want to be gentle with yourself. So maybe start off with somebody you really, really trust. Okay, I really, really trust this person. I've never felt judged by them. I feel accepted by them, right? They're patient. I'm going to speak my truth here. I'm going to start here. And that's a little baby step. And then you start to take larger steps with the people you really have to speak the truth to and set boundaries, and right? Okay. Okay. Yes, journaling really helps because you get in touch with this. I love journaling. Remember the Artist's Way, the 3 pages? That's part of my sadhana that I do every day. after meditation, just to get it out. And what I get in touch with is some deep, deep wisdom. I don't take credit for it. It's not my mind and my ego. It's coming from a deeper, deeper place, right? So writing, yeah. So MGs do that too. That's a baby step. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just going to be honest. I'm giving myself permission to be honest. Oh, this is how I'm really feeling right now in my life, right? Yeah. Okay. So, 1442. Let's go for the projectors. The projectors Okay. So projectors, we're talking about the 1-8. And you want to watch the beginning. If you just clicked on this through the timestamp to watch the beginning to learn more about this transit, this 1-8. Especially if you have it natally, if you want to know more about it. But we're going to be under this influence till Wednesday. We're in it now. We're in this energy now. Okay. The projectors. Oh, and incidentally enough, right? The 1-8 is a projected channel. So it works like a projector in that you have to be invited for mutation to happen, right? So the 1-8 is very mutative. It's the most creative channel in the whole chart. But the mutation happens through explanation. So explaining whatever is going on inside of you and making an effort to do that. Not assuming that people understand. Do you know those people? I used to be one of those people, I should say. And like blurting things out, blurt, blurt, blurt. And you just assume that the person is following your process, right? Your process and what you're trying to express. So it takes patience. You have to give yourself patience to be able to explain, because you're speaking from your identity. You can see that yellow. That's the G center. You're speaking from your identity. You're not speaking from your head. Okay. So what do we got for 1444? What do we have for the projectors? Oh, that's way too many. Okay. That one leapt out. Okay. And what's the guidance for our projector friends? What's the guidance for our projector friends? Okay. Okay. I want to get another one. Okay. So the projector's got the distracted card. I'm surprised we didn't get that already. And then the 4 of Cups right there with the 1-8. So projectors have been distracted. And remember, the projectors are the info junkies. They love information. So I think I have to be transparent here because I'm a projector. And I looked at that card and it's like, bingo, bingo. So I've been dealing with this, right? I've been dealing with this for sure because there's so much. This is the Jupiter and Gemini transit that we're in right now, right? There's so much juicy information coming out, right? And on the internet. And it's like I've I try to take it all in. And remember how a projector is designed. We can take in a lot of information, like way more than the other types, right? But realizing that it's a distraction, right? Realizing that it can be a distraction. So what was I going to say? I started turning off my Wi-Fi at night, right? My intuition was saying to turn off your Wi-Fi at night. And that's why I think another reason I slept so long for 12 hours was that was the first time I've turned off my Wi-Fi at night. So I thought I'd share that with you. And I felt like I was getting more of a restful sleep too, with my computer laptop out of my bedroom and everything as well. Yeah. So distracted. So you've got to look at that because there's so much. It's just so interesting to me, right? The world right now is very, very interesting, and I want to take it all in. But again, you've got to look at it's about your state of consciousness. Your state of consciousness is, in my state of consciousness looking for distraction right now? Or am I grounded in my body? Because this is about being grounded too in yourself, right here, the 1-8. Being grounded in the self as I approach, right? As I approach social media, for instance, or in my research and the work that I'm doing, right? Am I grounded in that? Or am I distracting myself? Mindlessly scrolling, right? So the distraction, this ego is going to come up with 1,000,001 distractions at this time. So it could be an avoidance, right? An avoidance technique of maybe some deeper emotions that are coming up that want to be integrated. Because remember, we're evolving through our emotional body, And if we go to the 1, the shadow of the 1 is called entropy, right? This first gate here. But it's also numbness. It's like feeling numb. So numbness, I think I talked about in the last video. It's like the ice over the lake, right? It's like you're not feeling joy. You're not feeling happiness. You're not feeling grief or sadness or even anger. You're just numb, right? So that's the shadow of this 1. That can come up too with the distraction. Distraction and numbness kind of go together. I'm numbing out. I don't want to feel anything. Okay, well, I'm not drinking or drugging or smoking, but I'm, right? A socially acceptable addiction would be social media, right? But still, it's an addiction. You want to numb out. You don't want to feel. So I say to look at that, projectors, to be aware of that with the 1-8 transit. Also trying to be busy with work, like you can distract yourself with work. Maybe it's not on social media. Maybe you're busy with work. A not self-projector, right, as an open sacral, they're the ones that are the workaholics, the non-energy types, because they don't have this energy. They don't have the energy that the generators in the MGs have, so they can end up distracted, busy working, overcompensating, because deep down you feel like a failure, right? Remember, this is the opposite of success. That's the correct projector should feel successful. What's on the other side, the binary, is I feel like a failure, and what the ego does is I'm going to be busy working and not feeling these deeper emotions, right? I'm going to be busy working. Look at me. I'm a success, but it's not real, right? Because it's coming from the not self, right? This is coming from the not self. So it's a compensation for deeper feelings of failure. And remember, with these the cards, with Venus activating the first gate and Uranus activating the 8th gate, the 6 of Cups is childhood, your childhood self, right? And projector children are very misunderstood, especially the adult ones, right? Like right now, very misunderstood. So they're always overcompensating, trying to fit into this generator world. Look how hard I'm working, right? And especially if you got this too, if this is natally it's not colored in, it's white, then you want to prove yourself. That's the not self, right? So to watch that, the 1/8 transit is allowing you to see this because you're going to start to communicate, right? Communicate from the self. So you can start off, people are really saying that on the chat, like really starting off with journal writing first and being honest. And letting these deeper beliefs that I'm a failure to come up. That, right? The beliefs and the emotions will come up that I'm a failure. So they can be transmuted. Okay. So again, the 4 of Cups, this is the apathy card. It's the apathy card, right? So feeling disconnected, boredom, indifference, discontent, right? Discontent with the 4 of Cups. Moon in Cancer. Moon in Cancer right there, that's about your childhood. This projectors, this goes back to your childhood. Moon in Cancer. If you have that natally, your childhood and your mother and your Cancer is the home. Mother, right? So this fits in with the 1, doesn't it? With the apathy, with this numbness. Okay, and you got the Tower card too. So to me, this is not an outer thing. It's an inner thing. This is an inner explosion. Can happen to break you out of this numbness and apathy you've been in. Because recognition, right? Recognition is you're feeling passionate about the invitation, right? So to me, there's an invitation that wants to come, but you're in apathy. You're not aligned with your authentic self. So you're not going to notice it. You're not going to notice a real... When you're not in your authentic self, you're not going to notice a real invitation, like a real invitation that's coming to you, especially if you're apathetic about it. Whatever, another one will come. Oh, that's not good enough. Like listening to your ego and your mind, right? So to me, it's like there's an inner explosion with this Tower, and that's Mars, right? And if we look at Mars in the 53... right? This is part of the channel of maturation that I talked about in one of my the last video, the second last one maybe, right? With Mars there, wants you to mature, right? Wants you to mature. So maybe an inner explosion will happen. You want to be open to it, right? And then to know what you want to invest in with Uranus. So Uranus wants you to shake up, because maybe as a projector you've been feeling like the invitations aren't coming, and they're going to start coming because we're entering a time of crisis as a humanity, and the projectors are going to be needed to guide the other types, So to me, it's about breaking out, right? Breaking out of this, and it starts with you being honest with yourself, like really expressing from this place. Not getting distracted, like shutting down social media, really look at, is this necessary that I do this busy work? Like really set your priorities, and then be alone, right? Alone and in solitude, and then use this energy to speak from your authentic self, right? So that you get clear, Okay. Well, and the Tower is the crown chakra too. I know you're not a manifestor, but you can receive, right? Divine. This is like so creative, the 1/8. So it's like receiving creative ideas. Yeah. Okay. And then I just feel like I'm so in this energy because it's going to start in half an hour. This is all about anger and depression and numbness. It's the teen that holds this for the projectors, right? The sullen teen. You hear that stereotype of the sullen teen. It's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. So it's time to get meditating, writing, get the paddles on you to bring yourself back to life. That's what this is saying. And you get back to life when you get out of this distraction mode, right? Your energy is being distracted elsewhere, and you don't have a ton of energy as a projector to be wasting it being distracted. Yeah. But I just want to take you to the end point. It's feeling failure. Go there. Write about that. Right? That's the opposite of success. This is the bitterness. I'm a failure. I don't want to even try because I'm going to have to face this fear of failure. Right? Yeah. Okay. You got to keep moving, projectors. Okay. And let's go for the manifestors. So manifestors, you want to go to the beginning of the video to learn about this 1/8 transit that we're in. And it's a blessing for all the types. Okay. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can I get a guidance for the manifestor, please? Okay. So the manifestor got the groupthink. I find that so funny. Out of all the types, the manifestor should not be aligned with groupthink, right? They're the most independent type because they're closed and repelling aura. Then they got a main theme, which is the Six of Cups. And this is what Venus is activating, right, in the first gate, the Six of Cups here. So you got that. And then the Ace of Swords, which is clarity. So clarity and truth is coming, right? So if we go to the 1/8, the fear, because there's fears that go here, right? So the fear is what other people will think of me. So this is about standing alone. This is an individual channel. It's about standing as a community of one, even if every single person around you are like the Stepford wives, the Borg. They're saying the same thing. They all agree with one another, and they certainly do not agree with you as a manifestor. You have to have the strength to stand as a community of one, as a manifestor, and speak your truth. And you've got the aura that you're not going to be impacted by them. This tells me this is all in your head. It's not even energetic. You've got the closed and repelling aura, and you're supposed to be this type, like strong, right? Strong, independent. That's the true manifestor. At peace, at peace. So this is allowing others to dictate to you their values and virtues, which you may or may not agree with, right? This is homogenization, and it's giving up your uniqueness to the group. So lucky for you, you're blessed with this 1/8. 1/8 is immune to the influences of groupthink, right? So this is, you're able to, during this transit, whether you have this natally or not, is to speak your truth and speak from yourself, your authentic self. And it's going to be very, very challenging, right? This is the Six of Cups. This is your childhood, right? Your childhood. This is your innocence. And again, as a manifestors, parents love to control manifestors. A lot of manifestor children are controlled. So they fear being controlled now. They fear losing their freedom. I can't speak the truth because they'll take my freedom away. And that could be like, you're an adult and you're the boss. It doesn't make any logical sense. Well, it does to the child, your inner child that's inside you. That's going to trump everything, right? Because it's emotional. I can't say that. I have to go along with everybody. Yeah. So again, it's just like speaking the truth, speaking from yourself, your true self. And being okay if people don't like you, right? I'm very suspicious of people that are very well liked by everybody, because it's impossible for everybody to like you, right? It's like, oh, they're being a bit of a chameleon. They're being a bit of a politician, people pleasing, right? They're not real. They're not authentic. When you're authentic, you're going to attract people that don't like you. right? And manifestor, the true manifestor knows that in their bones. They're just not your cup of tea, right? Okay, let's keep motoring here. So that's what I got for the manifestors. And then the reflectors, or all the other types. Yay. The other types. Because I love doing the reflector readings because it's like a combination of all the other types. Right? Okay. There we go. Do. And the reflector, 1%. I'd love to hear the reflectors in the chat or in the comment section on the replay. Just let us know that you're here. Okay, so this is for the reflectors and all the other types that are watching this. Okay. Do. Oh. So with the 1-8, you really want to listen to the sound of your voice. Is it coming from your identity or is it coming from your head and your mind? We just assume that our voice comes from our mind, but it doesn't. And human design teaches that, right? Our voice could come from our solar plexus. It could come from our spleen. It can come from our mind if we're defined that way, to the throat. It can come from our sacral, come from our willpower center. But with the 1-8, it's all about it's coming from you. Your identity. Okay, so this is for the reflector and the reflector type and the other types. Just a wrap up. We'll do a wrap up. Oh. Okay. Do we? Let's see. I think that. Well, I really see this as a blessing, you know, this transit. Okay, so this is for the reflector and the other types. So the ego card is obsessive thinking. Obsessive thinking. 6 of Swords in the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So obsessive thinking, and this so fits well with the twin flames too, right? So the 1-8 is about speaking from your authentic self, right? Your authentic self. This is the G center. This is very, very creative, right? It's very, very creative. And you notice that it's speaking from here. It's not speaking from the mind, right? In the ego, it's from yourself. So you never know what this self is going to say. It's about letting go in the now present moment. It's not about scripting and I'm going to say this and this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to trust myself in the present now moment that the right words will come in my communication and they'll hold the frequency of truth because I am truth. This is Satnam in Kundalini Yoga, because I am truth. Right? And the ego is the obsessive thinking, right? So this is part of the dark night of the soul. This is what the lunar eclipse activated, the 36th gate, right? Right there. And still Neptune is there, right? The dark night of the soul comes with obsessive thinking. Obsessive thinking. It's like your mind goes insane. It's just like, and this is what happens on the twin flame connection, especially with the chaser at first. This obsessive thinking. It won't stop. The mind won't stop. This is a big sign that the ego is breaking down, right? The ego is dismantling here. Yeah. So you need space and time, so it's not to listen to this. So this obsessive thinking could just stop you if you choose, right, to not speak your truth. This obsessive thinking, like going into this, oh my God, my mind's insane. I need to go see a doctor, get some pills, some anti-anxiety medication or something. Why is this happening? You need a broken record again. You need to meditate. You need to meditate. Just start off small, 3 minutes. I have free meditations on my YouTube channel, right? So this is like you get a relationship with your mind, right? You're in relationship with your mind. And then you can detach from this. Oh, look at my mind. My monkey mind's going crazy. And you don't get in the swirl of it, right? You're out of the storm. You're watching. This is passenger consciousness in human design. Passenger consciousness. I'm just watching, right? I'm watching my mind. It's freaking out, right? It's freaking out. So it's about giving yourself space, right? Giving yourself space and not going into this obsessive thinking. And then I got to speak from that place, which is just going to create more fear, right? And then dragging people into that space. No, you want to be speaking from here, right? Yourself. So this is saying the Six of Swords is like, get on your boat and it's time to get out of the rough waters of obsessive thinking. That will probably, this is like Nine of Swords energy, obsessive thinking, and then move into the calm waters. The calm waters, emotional calm waters. Yeah. And it's saying the transition and change is happening for all of us with this 1-8, right? Because this is for all the other types too, not just the reflectors. And there's the Wheel of Fortune, right behind you, like the steamship, right? It's like a steamship getting this boat moving to calmer waters, out of obsessive thinking and into the self. And then you can communicate from this place. So to me, the obsessive thinking card is like, it's already, you don't need to do anything. Just let it, it's like a fan, you know, when you turn off an electric fan, you turn it off, the thing, and it keeps swinging around. Is it still powered? No, it's going to eventually stop. So to me, it's the solar eclipse activated this mind, this crazy mind, this obsessive thinking, because deeper, like spiritual energy, like you, the vibration of you is getting stronger and stronger and expanding, right? And then this obsessive thinking is like the mind will get slower and slower and slower, and then you're moved into a better place with this 1-8 where you can really speak from yourself and not from the mind, right? Not from the mind. Because we're on the planet, we're going through an ego death, like all of us. Okay. So that's what I have for everybody. And there's still time. The opening circle starts in 20 minutes if you want to join in. And we're going to be dealing with the inner teen. We're going to be dealing with anger, lots of anger. We're going to be dealing with the gifts that the inner teen is holding. And just your unique patterns to really let go of this not self, because that's what it's all about, purging right now, right? Letting go of this not self. Okay, so leave your comments below and please like my video and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video, which will probably be sooner than later because I want to get something out with the full moon that's coming up, and also the Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo relationship chart too. I think you'll find that interesting. Okay, Satnam everybody. Have a great weekend. Take good care of yourselves. Okay, bye-bye.